2025 Essence Festival is being reported as the literal worst Essence Festival of all time. How did this happen? This happened because of tetherism. We're going to go into it and how the erasure of foundational Black American culture is ruining Essence.
The price of freedom is death. We're coming to get our check.
Black first, my beloved family, my brothers and sisters. This is the Afro Elite YouTube channel. I'm your host, Afro Elite. Listen, boy, did we have some technical things. I had a lot of stuff to cover. We got a lot to cover. Let me let you know this right now. Let me make this abundantly clear to everybody, especially if y'all watching live. If y'all watching live, y'all going to enjoy this, okay? This is going to be one for the books. Let me tell you guys this right now. That's why it took me a little bit of time to get this together, because this is going to be a good one, all right? We're going to start the week off right. We are going to start the week off right. Now, but we're just going to kind of get straight into it because there's a lot to go into. So what we're going to do is we're going to play the copyright disclaimer just to protect ourselves, protect the channel, protect the family. So that's what we're going to do. And as we're doing that, what I would greatly appreciate from every single last one of y'all is to hit that like button, subscribe, make sure you're subscribed, and share. We'll be right back. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. So, the Essence Festival 2025 is being reported as a flop. Ain't nobody happy about it. You've seen several videos online about the 2025 Essence Festival, and every single last one of them are really saying the same thing, that the Black American influence and culture and presence and theme has been erased, replaced, tetherized out the building, okay? And nobody wants it no more. It's ruined. It's trash now because the core theme of it, the core soul of it, is being purged out the room and pushed out the room, and nobody likes that. Nobody wants that. That erases the core value of it. That erases the purity of it. We have a video right here. Let me show it to you guys how empty it was. I want you guys to have a visual of how empty this room was.
The convention center was garbage. 2025 at the convention.
Look at how, first off, I want y'all to understand this has been going on for decades. Essence Festival has been going on for decades now. All right. There are people who travel. This is not just a New Orleans thing, even though it is based in New Orleans, but there are people who travel outside of New Orleans just to come to Essence, just to see what's going on. And I want you guys to see, look how empty this has gotten.
2025 at the convention center was garbage. A lot of space, very few vendors, and I've been going to Essence a long time. I've never seen it like this. Used to be one of the best places to go to support small Black businesses. That was not the case this year. I definitely hope it gets better because this was not it at all.
Okay, yeah. And a lot of people, first off, a lot of people didn't go. They're reporting record low ticket drops, and then the people who did go, a lot of people are saying like this was trash. This was awful. This was terrible. That's what people are saying about this. Why? Why is this going on? Okay, well, we got to go back. We got to do the history to understand how we got where we are right now at this point in time. So going back to it, Essence started off as a magazine. Essence was founded by 4 foundational Black American men. What they did, which is something that I don't agree with, what they did is eventually they sold it. We're giving you the abridged version, but what they did is they sold it. Now, this is a note, all right? Something we all have to pay attention to. As foundational Black Americans, and maybe this needs to be a topic for another live because it's so very heavy. As foundational Black Americans, what we need to focus on is ownership. Ownership, owning our things, especially things that pertain to us and our culture. We need to be the owners of it. not the co-owners, not even the influencers of it. We need to be the owners of these things. So when we have magazines, when we have hair care products, when we have things that are specifically for us, especially the things that are specifically for us, we need to take cultural pride in that and making sure that that stays within the community. All right. So eventually they sold it. They sold it, and they sold it to some white folks who wound up selling it to some tethers. The tethers wound up getting in trouble. The one tether, he wound up getting in trouble, had to step down. I'm going to show you guys that real fast. Hold on. Let me pull this up. So he wound up having to step down due to some quote unquote allegations. Now, we're not here to speak on the fact that the allegations are true or not true. We're not going to get into that. That's not what we're here to discuss this evening. But he did have to step down, all right, because of allegations of a terrible work environment that he had, all of this stuff. So right here, it says Essence CEO steps down amid allegations. You guys can see it. Let me make it a little bit larger for you guys. He steps down amid allegations of poisonous workplace culture, all right? So this person is Liberian. Okay, he is a Liberian immigrant. Now, some people saying he's Liberian born in American, so he's like a first generation born there, whatever the case is. Don't matter. He's Liberian. Okay, he had allegations of having being an abusive boss, having terrible all of that stuff. So Essence was losing its mark the second the tether started running it anyway. So what he wound up doing is they wound up trying to save Essence by putting forth another person who's a tether. They put forth a Kenyan woman. Now she's first generation. Now we don't know about the other guy before, but she's first generation, and her name is Caroline A. Wanga. Now, Caroline A. Wanga, as a Kenyan woman, she came in there and she started trying to purge all of the FBA culture out of that and turn this into more of a Pan-African thing. All right, let me show you some of the receipts. This is her. This is what she was on.
The optimal health because we started at the wrong place. Your foot is broken and you're over here trying to make sure your face look good. But you can't walk. The last one is world. What does that mean? It means something really simple that is a pet peeve of mine that I'm going to put on the table and then we're going to shut up. All this BS about African versus U.S. black versus Caribbean black versus Canadian black versus Antarctica black. I don't have facts to prove that. We everywhere. Arctic black. If you allow that narrative to exist within you, you're participating in dismantling who we're supposed to be in this world, y'all.
Let's walk through this. We doing this together, y'all. We are doing this together. It's gonna be tough for a lot of y'all. Y'all might cringe a little bit. Y'all might have to close your eyes or plug your ears a little bit. It's okay. I'm gonna have to do it too. But we gonna get through this together. The whole it's American black versus African black versus this black versus that black. We understand there were black people all over the world. There's been many scientific facts, historians, archaeologists that's verified this. We know this, and this ain't personal. This isn't our disposition about you guys coming in and you guys tethering on our culture and undermining us isn't because we have some rivalry with you guys. See, that's y'all. This is a projection. Foundational Black Americans, we don't have no rivalry with really anybody. I mean, how you gonna have rivalry when you the influence, when you the culture? You know, when everybody trying to be like you, who is your rival? Can somebody answer that for me? If everybody is trying to be like you, who is your rival? Who are you in competition with? Come on. 1 + 1 is 2. It always is. It always will be. So, I mean, that's the fact. That is the fact. So we don't have no rivalry. So this is why when they come in, we have always culturally set aside room for them. We've always culturally set aside space and allowed them to have their space. We've allowed them to have their festivals. We've allowed them to partake in their culture. We've created space. It's like somebody coming into your house, the house that belongs to you. Gotta say it. And then you all like, you know what? Okay, I mean, we're gonna make some room for you or whatever the case is. So, we don't really have a spare closet, but I'm gonna move my stuff. I'm gonna push my stuff in I guess the basement or whatever the case is. I'm gonna put my stuff here so that way you can have a closet and you can have room to put your clothes, your stuff, and all of that stuff. So we've accommodated everybody. And not just from the diaspora, we've accommodated people as far as the Asian community, as far as the Hispanic community. We've accommodated everybody. All right. But the thing is that now why you're seeing this issue is because the space that we have allowed you guys to take, you guys are feeling entitled to it. And now you guys are starting to take up more space than what you guys need to be taking up. That's the problem. That's the issue. When I say, okay, this is because don't keep this in mind, keep it in mind that they come over here, they'll celebrate Carnival in America, in the United States of America, they'll celebrate a Caribbean festival. Cool. They'll celebrate Haitian Flag Day in the United States. Cool. They'll celebrate Puerto Rican Flag Day in the United States. I guess. Cool. And we don't say nothing about it. If that's how they go, that's how they go. All right. Okay. But then it becomes a thing of our stuff that we've been doing. Now y'all want to come and take up more space than what you guys have been permitted. See, that's where we're clashing. That's where the clash is starting to meet. Because we allowed you guys to have your own closet and hang your coats up and put your shoes up and all of this stuff and put all your things there. Now we open my closet and I see your coat in my closet. And I say, hey, you all know this is my closet, right? Oh, I just think that it should be all of our closet. What the huh? You think this you forget whose house this is? Did you forget whose house this is? How we know? We gave you a closet. Well, I mean, we both look alike, so I just think that this shit should be my closet too. And see, this is what we're having with Juneteenth. This is exactly the type of stuff that we're dealing with Juneteenth. Now, when it comes to their holidays, that's their closet. Metaphorically, that's their closet. That's their stuff, their room, their space that we've given them. They wouldn't have it if it wasn't for us. That we've given them. And now when it comes to our space, they want to put their coats in our closet. And now the second we say, hey, you're going to have to take your coat out my closet. I need my closet for myself. I want to put my stuff in here. The only clothes and things that belong in this closet are supposed to be mine. And then they'll turn around and say, you being hateful. They'll turn around and say, it's not it's not me versus you. We should all be working together. They will turn around and gaslight you and say you are the bad guy. Say because they can have their closet to themselves and your closet, that you're xenophobic. That I swear to God, that's what they'll say. Now, you can't put your stuff in their closet at all. Even though it's your house, you can't put your stuff in their closet. But they feel like they can put their stuff in your closet. And if you don't allow that to happen, you're xenophobic. That's what they'll say. So all of this is this black versus this black versus this black versus this black. No, y'all sitting up there all together trying to take over and tether and undermine us and co-opt us and impede our progress and our mission and deter where we're going. And the second we call that out, y'all call this, oh, it's us versus. No, stop doing that. If y'all would be cool the way y'all were supposed to, we wouldn't have no issue. But let's get back to the video. Let's get back to it.
If you allow that narrative to exist within you, you're participating in dismantling who we're supposed to be in this world, y'all. Rich and I are no less dedicated to the black community in the US than we are to the black community in Africa and in the Caribbean and in Europe. And the fact that our descent is African and your descent might be different does not mean.
Okay. I want y'all to remember she said that. She is no more dedicated to the Caribbean or to Africa than she is to America. Okay, we're gonna hold you to that. Just remember she said that.
That we can't represent all. And we're not fighting for all. And we keep letting this narrative exist in the fucking, world. I told y'all this is me. If you were calling me, this is how it would come out, y'all. And I'm gonna tell you why I'm triggered on that in a second. Anybody can believe what they want to believe. What I need the world part of this to do is to proactively dismantle the part of that conversation that is about, if you ain't a black, I certify you don't deserve to help make black better. Because the amount of energy that we spend.
Now, I want you guys to keep this in mind. When they say things make black better or whatever the case is, ma'am, there was nothing wrong with how Essence originally was. When Essence was uplifting black, even though it was centered, the magazine in and of itself was kind of, it did have a centering of black women, which, I mean, it is what it is. That, I mean, that's cool. Nobody's tripping on that. But when y'all say make black better, that is key word for it should be more like me. That's what they really mean when we're just doing this for the community. No, what you're trying to do is you're trying to make it more like Kenya and make it more like the continent. There was nothing wrong with the way Essence was running before. There was absolutely nothing wrong. Everybody loved it. It was about black empowerment. It was about foundational black American culture, foundational black American pride, foundational black American fashion and artistry and all of that stuff. Nothing was wrong with it. You can't improve on anything that wasn't wrong. Y'all keep coming over here trying to say, okay, well, we're just gonna make some improvements. Ain't nothing broke. What they say, the thing is that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, it wasn't broken. It should have been left the way it originally was. Y'all came in and said y'all think that it needed improvement because it was foreign to you all. Because this is foreign to you all. Okay, this is something that we've seen growing up. It's not something y'all seen growing up. It's not something your parents or your grandparents have seen growing up. So this is foreign to you guys. So you guys feel like, okay, well, this needs to change. That's why y'all saying, well, we're going to make quote unquote improvements in our vision.
And this is honest, y'all. The amount of energy that we spend trying to mitigate around that is taking energy away from what we could be doing. When I took this job with Rich, and he knows this, and we were writing the press release, there was literally a conversation about, should I put on there that I'm Kenyan or not? Dead ass. You can cut this in the video, Steph. Then I'll say it again, dead ass. Why do I have to sit there and think about if in an interview on a stage, in a place where I'm talking about this thing that is my job, I got to be careful about saying if I'm Kenyan, because somebody won't think that I can lead them because they're not from Kenya, but they're black like me. That my black can't be their black and their black can't be my black. So when I say world, shut it down.
Okay. The thing is that I don't know why the thing just did that like that. The thing is that in the world we live in, it can't be like that. And this is not to be hateful. This is not to diss Kenya. This is not to diss Kenyans. This is not to diss Africa. But no, it's not like that. It's not like that. Your black can't be my black and my black can't be your black and everybody's black. Is this whole thing of black, this erasure of the ethnicity, and then we're just going to talk about this black thing as if this is just this ambiguous thing, that this big pot and we're all equally in there. No, as far as the race, of course, the racial category of black, of course. Okay, nobody's stripping you from that, but my black is not like your black. That don't make you bad. That don't make you bad. Just like your black, her black, she's Kenyan, her black is not like a Nigerian black. That don't make either one of them bad. Their black is not like a Haitian black. That don't make them bad. Their black is not like a damn black person from Jamaica or black person from the UK or black person from Asia or black person from anywhere else. That don't make you bad, but you are not the same. This is why we got to delineate. This is why. This is why. Because you'll tell us, oh, well, my black and your black, we're the same thing. And then you'll change everything to meet your black. That's the thing. Okay. They'll say, oh, well, black is black and black is black and black is black. Remember she said that. Remember it. I want y'all to remember it because we're going to show some receipts. Now, remember, everybody's black is the same. But yet when it comes to the festival, everybody's black isn't really represented. If everybody's black is the same and I'm not no more black than you're black, then why when it comes to the festival is your black or your culture more represented than my culture is, if we're all the same in America, mind you. But okay, just remember she said it. Okay, let's go. Let's go.
Spend the energy finding what you can do. You don't got to like me. You don't even think I'm going to be successful. Just don't dismiss me because I'm Kenyan, and I won't dismiss you because you're black. And if you're around people that look like us that are feeding that narrative, tell them they can feel how they want to feel, but please, again, don't touch the silverware if that's how you feel. Because we got to eat. Why am I triggered by that? Because of the last 2 days and then the next 2 days. Do you see how beautiful it is for how we gather? Do you see what we've been able to do together unapologetically? Do you understand what this has done to fuel the way that people got to go back and be they black? So what would the world look like?
Okay. Now, I think it's very interesting. The whole your black, my black, all that stuff. This is her and her wife. Now, I stay out of people's relationship businesses and all of that stuff, and we're not here to judge, but we can't not say that all of this, my black and your black and we all black and everybody's black is the same and nobody's black is more important and black, and you pick a white woman to marry. Okay. So we can already tell, like, the nuclear family thing, that's not really your get down. Now, people get to make whatever decisions they want to make. Okay. People do get to make whatever decisions they choose to make, or whatever the case is. Then okay. All right. And we're not here to judge in that sense, but we can't say that goes unnoticed. We can't say that because it doesn't. Now, going back, remember, it was your black, my black, this black, that black. So with that being said, right, everybody's culture should be at the very least, even though it started with our culture, there would be no Essence. There would be no Essence festival without us. There would be none of that stuff without our culture. Even though it started with that, even if they wanted to do, oh, let's do a thing where we're all equally represented, we're not. And they admitted that they're not even trying to do that. Let's look at this. Let's show the receipts. Now, remember, I kept saying, remember what she's saying. Remember what she's saying. Okay. Now, this was of late last year. Okay. So they're talking about the new management. I already told you guys the new management because the old management was doing some crazy stuff. So, okay, the new management went along. Now, I want to focus scrolling down here, and they're talking about doing this stuff and representing the diaspora. Okay. Now, look. Okay. We're going to start with, now they're going to OB and all of this stuff represent the minister of NCAC, while Essence Vineyards, okay, that's the thing that owns the festival. Essence Vineyards was represented by Barque Tubman. Global lead on talent, global lead on talent and diasporic engagements. Okay, so they're trying to expand. All right, and then it goes down here. It says NCAC, the Essence Vineyard, to build a framework with Essence as global knowledge of culture, patterns, and origins core NCAC initiatives and for designation. 2030, Nigeria everywhere. Why is it Nigeria? Hold on. I thought our black wasn't more important than their black, and their black wasn't more important than our black, and we're all black, and it doesn't matter. She was saying it doesn't matter that I'm Kenyan. It doesn't matter. I can still represent you. Okay, so Nigeria everywhere in global platforms of the ministry. Nigeria seems very specific to one group of black people. Nigeria isn't all black people. Everybody's not Nigerian, but yet you see Nigeria. Hold on, there it is again. Okay, so they'll get up here and they'll tell you to your face, oh, it's not about that. It's not about that. But then in their pamphlets, they'll be all like, yep, Nigeria. Okay. It says the Essence Festival of Culture held annual in New Orleans. Okay. The largest festival in America by per day attendance. It ain't that way no more. Attracting over 500,000 attendees daily, which is 500,000 attendees daily over the 3-day event. The launch signals and recognizes Essence global intent to expand. Okay. So they're not trying to keep it homegrown or whatever the case is. To expand, aiming to build a solid foundation for its global black community and bridge the gap. Okay. Now, it would be one thing, first off, it still would be ruining it, but it would be one thing if you're saying we're going to do this, and this is to bridge the gap to make everybody equally participate. That you see with Nigeria as a focal country due to its rich talents, history, traditions, entrepreneurship, heritage, and significant percentage of the black diaspora. Okay. So all of that, we black. Everybody just we're super black, and just because I'm Kenyan or whatever the case is, doesn't mean that I can't represent you, or doesn't mean that I care more about them. Remember, she said that. That's why I said remember. Remember, she was all like, "Well, just because I'm from here doesn't mean I care anything more about Africa than I do about American black, and I love American black just as much as I love African black." Yet you see they're talking about, yeah, we're going to have a hyper focus on Nigeria because their rich culture and history and ethnicity and all of that stuff. So what you're going to do, because it was about us, remember, Essence was about us. So you're going to say, okay, now we're going to pivot and we're going to take the focus away from you guys and make that focus more on Nigeria, not even on Pan-Africanism. And I want you guys to understand this. When anybody's be like, wow, y'all just don't like nobody who not FBA, and y'all a hate group cult of xenophobic Trump supporters. Y'all, they say that. They say that and they complain. But notice all of this Pan-African stuff, it starts off like, hey, man, I just want us to all get along and we all got to just stick together and all of that stuff. It becomes that. And then next thing you know, they start elbowing you out the room. Next thing you know, the second you say, hey, man, we here, this my space, this your space, or whatever the case is, then they start pushing the needle and pushing the line. Next thing you know, you see their stuff in your room. Your stuff can't go in their room, but their stuff is in your room. And then more and more and more. And then you start seeing your stuff be removed. You come home one day, you let a guest sleep in the house. You let your quote unquote family sleep in the house. And then you find your bed. Imagine this, y'all. Just imagine this. Picture this. Imagine coming home, long day at work, long day at school, whatever the case is. You're kind of tired. You come home and see your bed in the hallway. Your bed is not in your room. Your bed is in the hall. And you wonder, who put my bed in the hall? Why is my bed not in the room it belongs in? And then the family member comes up and they say, oh, well, that's just because I needed to make more room in this room for something else I want to do. Okay. So I had to take your bed out because it wasn't enough room for my stuff and your stuff. So your stuff had to go. Yeah, imagine that. And we supposed to turn the other cheek and be like, I guess I gotta sleep in the hallway now. No, I'm not. No. Just no. We we gotta sleep in the hallway. I'm not sleeping in the hallway. No. Okay, let me get to the super chats real quick before we get too far, because we still got more to go. All right. Okay. Easy says ownership is key. It is. It is the key. It is the key. Yes. Ownership. That's what we got to be focused on. Dakota Jenkins says Essence today is basically Tether Palooza. Trash. Yeah. So going into it, now you see the hyperfocus. Yeah. It's all about black. And if you participate, and this is what they'll do. This is what they'll do to us, which is why I'm giving you guys the receipt so you guys will completely dismiss all of the gaslighting that they're going to do. They're going to sit here and tell you, if you try to focus on your unique heritage and lineage and culture, then that's xenophobic, that's anti-black, that's anti-African, and you hate Africa, and you hate anybody who's not like you. But yet they focus on their stuff to the degree where they want to take over. It's a takeover that they're trying to disguise as Pan-Africanism. And we're just not going. No, we're not going. Okay, look at this. This is Essence.
Hi, my name is Amomi, an actor from Nigeria, and culture means earth, motherland, Africa, originality, and culture is the essence of our being, the togetherness, the oneness, the community, the society that we're from, and we should always celebrate that. So yes, whatever it is, if you're African, go back to Africa and connect to your source. Thank you.
Why is there, instead of having S, if y'all really wanted something like this, where it was a big thing where y'all focused on Africa, which we do have festivals. We have multiple festivals that focus on Africa. We got festivals and celebrations and parades in this country that focus on specific cultures, whether that's Haitians, whether that's Caribbeans, whether that's Puerto Ricans, whether that's Africans. Okay. And then we have things specifically for the diaspora, but that is not enough. Okay. Y'all come here and then y'all say, okay, in order for us to make this comfortable, we got to get the FBAs up out of there. Okay. So this is why a lot of people just not feeling this essence thing no more. Because you seeing this, yeah, the whole thing about everybody is black and everybody gets equally represented. Then you see this global, this whole thing of the African globe thing that they got going on, Black Globe Beauty. Okay. So this isn't like the Black American or Miss Black America. Now this is Miss Africa. That's what they got going on. They got a thing going on where it's like jollof rice versus jambalaya. They got jollof versus jambalaya. They keep trying to Africanize everything going on when it comes to essence. And this is why a lot of people just saying, hey, man, no. Let me show you something. FBAs is not going. Let me show you. And let me show you. FBAs is fed up with this. Let's pull up some of the things they've been saying. Now, before we start the video, I first thought that this was a bonnet, but this isn't a bonnet. This is a lock cap. When people have dreadlocks, they have different, they don't wear do-rags. They have a different type of cap. That's like, kind of like, it looks like a bonnet from certain angles, but it's not a bonnet. At first one, I'm like, why is this grown-ass man wearing a bonnet? But it's a lock cap. Personally, I still would have took it off before the video. I don't know. I don't wear it. I would have took it off before the video personally, but okay. Just making that correction because from that angle, it looks like a bonnet. So I would have took it off, but okay.
Keep non-Black Americans away from things that are for Black Americans. What happened to for us, by us? Why is there a Miss Black Globe competition at Essence Fest? Essence Fest isn't about all of the Black people in the diaspora. It's about Black Americans, all right? Why is there a Jollof versus Jambalaya competition at Essence Fest? That's not needed. It's about Black Americans. Why are there African and Caribbean vendors at Essence Fest? It's about Black Americans, and that's okay. If Caribbeans and Africans want to have an event that's as big as Essence Fest, they can go create it. And that's perfectly fine. But there's a time and a place, all right? From them saying that they have a right to say how Juneteenth should be celebrated a couple weeks ago to now this is getting out of hand. And for the Black Americans that have an issue with other Black Americans having pride in being Black American, where is your racial self-esteem at? Why is it so low? What the hell is going on?
Yeah. All of that stuff where if we standing up for ourselves and we being divisive. No, man, have some pride in your heritage and lineage. This is why nobody showed up to Essence. Let me show y'all again. Essence was
At the convention center was garbage. A lot of space, very few vendors, and I've been going to Essence a long time. I've never seen it like this. Used to be one of the best places.
Now, allegedly, I gotta add this too. Allegedly, one of the things that they were doing was the FBA vendors who would try to partake in Essence because they, annually people who have local businesses. Essence used to be a big thing where it was mainly about music. It was a big thing about music and stuff like that. So a lot of local artists got to come there and they got to showcase their music skills. So it was a lot about that, but it was also a lot of FBA businesses, people who would sell food, people who would sell clothes, shirts, art, jewelry, people who would sell soap, people who had like local service business where they maybe worked on cars or whatever the case may be, would clean the house, whatever the case may be. A lot of FBA New Orleans businesses would come there and they would all look forward to it because that would be how they would make a lot of money, how they would get a lot of advertisement. Very similar to a few years ago how we had the FBA Expo in Texas, if you guys remember that. Okay, and the FBA Expo in Texas, a lot of foundational Black American people came. It was a lot of clothes. It was a lot of people who came with different foods. You had some people who were selling coffee. You had some people who were selling candy or whatever the case is. People who were selling art. People who had 3D. There was one brother who had like this big 3D printed machine. It was real cool. It was nice, and everybody enjoyed it. Everybody had a good time. Everybody had a good time. And this is what Essence Festival used to be. In New Orleans, people would come there, people would shut up. A lot of FBAs who would travel to New Orleans, who are tourists, they would look forward to patriotizing Black businesses in New Orleans. It would be good for the economy. You would find good businesses. You could enjoy yourself. You could contribute, because a lot of Black people, you feel fulfillment in contributing to the community. So yeah, you could get yourself a little slice of cake, and you feel good about the cake, not only because the cake is good, but because you bought the cake from a Black person. So it especially is good, you know. So everybody's good. Everything was everything. Like I was saying before, Essence was good. There was nothing that needed to change. Okay. There was absolutely, that was the way it should have stayed. It should have stayed that way. Now you got people coming in, and then what they're doing is, because they're trying to, like they said, they admitted, they're trying to center Africa, the continent, and they're trying to center Nigeria in specific, and then you got Caribbean. So what they'll do is they'll allow Caribbeans to set up shop in the front, and then next thing you know, the FBA vendors, they got to go all the way to the back, to the outskirts and around the corner and all of that stuff, and they wouldn't really have their booth highlighted like that. Do you understand? So a lot of that stuff is there undermining them. It would be undermining them. So this is why a lot of FBAs was like, hey, I went there, I didn't even really see no FBA business. They made it very difficult because you got to get like permits and stuff like that, especially if you're selling food, of course, because it's a safety thing. So they made it real different for your permits to be accepted. There was one woman who said she had to wait. I had a TikTok space live the other day. One Black FBA sister, she was like, I had to wait like 4 hours just to get in, and then I had to wait another 4 hours to set up. And then some of the Tether things, or whatever the case is, they was talking about how they weren't giving out the free samples that they advertised. Then you had to pay this, and then they closed shop early to set it. It was a lot of stuff, and nobody was feeling it, man. Nobody. It was bad. It was bad. It was terrible. It was terrible. But I just want you to see how empty this is.
2025 at the convention center was garbage. A lot of space, very few vendors, and I've been going to Essence a long time. I've never seen it like this. Used to be one of the best places to go to support small Black businesses. That was not the case this year. I definitely hope it gets better, because this was not it at all.
You see that? Now that's bad. Let me show you some of the other things people are saying. Now, I want you guys to have, or to remember rather, I want you guys to remember this sister. She's been speaking up on the erasure of FBA stuff in the beauty industry, and now she's making another thing about the erasure of FBA presence and influence in Essence.
Heritage at Essence Fest. What happened to Black American heritage at Essence Fest? So it's night 1 or night 2, and there is a lot of complaints coming through, and the common consensus is the culture has shifted. It no longer feels like us. And honestly, that makes sense, because the people in charge now do not value Black heritage. Essence Fest used to be known as the Cookout. It was created in 1995, created to center Black American heritage, the music, fashion, beauty, political power. It was basically like the family reunion created by Black people for Black people. Soul food, a little gospel, a little trap, NOLA. It was a culture that you felt deep in your chest. But now, not so much. It feels somewhat curated, corporatized, and it no longer feels like it centers us. The current CEO of Essence is a former DEI executive for Target. So the very thing that Black Americans are protesting, she was the center of, and now she's the center, well, she's the head, the CEO of Essence. Upon more research, I found out that she is originally from Kenya, and she moved to the US when she was about 10 years old. The point of me bringing that up is she doesn't seem like she values Black American heritage, because if she did care, the festival will still reflect the very people it was built for. And seeing as though that's not the case, I can't help but think that she does not value Black American heritage. Instead, it's become a space that uplifts everyone else aside from Black American heritage. That shift is starting to feel really intentional. Local Black vendors are being pushed out, local creators.
Now, when she's saying it's starting to feel intentional, when she made the video, it was like a couple weeks ago, maybe last month or so, when she made the video about how FBA sisters are being kind of overlooked and kind of pushed out silently but surely out of the beauty industry. It was a whole bunch of people gaslighting her, saying, oh no, it's about colorism. That's what it's about. It's just about colorism. Y'all not being replaced. There's no takeover. I want y'all to understand, they will gaslight you if you let them. They will gaslight you if you let them. Okay? It's about colorism or whatever the case is. Now, I don't know, as a straight man, I don't know about no makeup and doing all, like, as far as the beauty industry and who's an influencer in the beauty industry and where they're here, because I don't follow that stuff. But I do understand the pattern of that, because we don't just see that in the beauty industry. We see that in the beauty industry. We see that in the music industry. We see that in Hollywood. We're starting to see the takeover all over. So if we see it in Hollywood, we see it in music, we see it in sports, it is kind of like, it makes sense. We are following the pattern. So when she said she saw it in the makeup industry or the beauty industry, or I guess the influencer culture, or whatever the case, the term would be for that, yeah, that makes sense. Because you're seeing it all over. And the fact that we're seeing it in every single avenue, in every single workplace, in every single field of in life, whether that's entertainment, business, all of that stuff, fashion, whether that's sports, whether that's Hollywood, movie, TV, whether that's music, you know what I'm saying? Now, whether that's politics, do you understand what I am telling you? So we're seeing all of this stuff go around, and now we're starting to look like, okay, well, damn, it seems like we're kind of getting pushed out of the room. We come in the conversation, and then next thing you know, they're pushing us out the door. So when we say that, we're saying that because, yeah, we see the pattern now. We hip to the pattern now. All right. So y'all can try to gaslight, but the reason why it's not going to work is because there's too many of us who see it, too many of us who experience it, too many of us who see it. And it would be one thing if it was in one place, but in every single place, we see that. And then we start to see our culture be removed from the room we built. That's like going home and you're starting to see your furniture slowly but surely starting to be removed from your room. You're going to notice that. All right. So yeah, and they gonna try to gaslight, but we see it. We hip to the game now. All right.
And influencers are overlooked completely, all while being the very representation that is needed for Black-centered heritage in the South. It doesn't make any sense to me. It has slowly become a place that has been curated for optics and not community. This very thing is exactly what I was talking about in my previous videos when I asked the question, where are the Black American beauty creators? The answer is, we're being pushed out of the very spaces created and centered for us. And not just pushed out of these spaces like Essence Fest, but panels, brand deals, sponsorships, media. And all of this didn't happen by accident. It has happened through leadership, branding pivots, and sponsorship deals that prioritize global Blackness. Global Blackness, a movement that often leaves out the specific culture and heritage of Black Americans. And when brands talk about inclusion but sideline the very creators who made the culture, we should all be asking, if Essence no longer feels like us, who is it for?
And the whole thing, yeah, and let me touch on that for a little bit. Let me touch on that for a little bit. The thing that we got to understand is that it's not even about, because the thing is that, let's say in another world, we're all getting along and everything is peachy and everybody is everybody, and everything is everything, and we're all getting along, and we have no issue. Tethers don't exist. Let's say, for the sake of the argument, we're living in another world, another dimension, another universe where tethers don't exist. And everybody from the diaspora, they have nothing but the utmost respect and camaraderie with foundational Black Americans, and we all getting along, or whatever the case is. Even if that was the case, we are not the same people. Even if that was the case, we're not the same. Our history is not your history. What my grandfather and grandmother had to go through is not what your grandfather and grandmother had to go through. What they've experienced is not what y'all experienced, okay? That's the case. All right? This ain't about us being having no access, because people keep trying to frame it like we got some type of rivalry with somebody else, or we got some type of axe to grind. We don't got no rivalry with nobody else, but the thing is that don't mean we allowing y'all to come in and do what y'all and come in and take over, okay? No, this isn't about, I want us to understand, this is just about being on code. To us, we are just about being on code. This ain't got nothing to do with nothing personal. No, this ain't personal. But when we see this stuff, we're going to call this stuff out, because this is not the way it's supposed to be. Because when you erase the purity and colonize it and take it over, or whatever the case is, what you guys are going to do is you're going to erase a very important element necessary for dismantling the system of white supremacy. We can't allow that. It's disrespectful to our culture, and it disrupts the mission. All right. Now, the whole thing of this global Black thing, if we're all supposed to be some global Black thing, why is it that y'all have some axe to grind with us in particular? Y'all don't mind. It's just very interesting. I can't help but call it out that it's very interesting that you guys do not have an issue when it comes to the whether that's Africa, all of the countries in Africa. Even though y'all don't be getting along in Africa, y'all don't mind the cultures in Africa and all of that stuff. When it comes to representation, y'all don't mind the Caribbean when it comes to representation. But it's only foundational Black Americans where y'all like, no, let's not let them know we're doing that. Because if it was even about centering Africa, y'all would feel that same way about the Caribbean, but you don't. So it's less even about centering Africa, and it's more about excluding FBA. Because we're the only people that don't get the invite. We're the only people that when we step in the room, folks start to side eye us. We're the only people that folks be playing these little games with. If it's not even about like centering Nigeria, you should be feeling some type of way about anybody who's not Nigerian, but you don't. You don't feel no way about anybody who's not Nigerian, anybody who's not African. You don't feel no way about Caribbeans. You only feel some type of way about us. So let's really talk about it. Let's really get to the reason. All right. Another thing. One of the things they're trying to do is, because we've discussed this on this channel before about the Target boycott. We discussed the thing about the Target boycott before. And yeah, okay. Here's the thing. Foundational Black Americans ain't really tripping on Target. Not really. The only people you see really tripping on Target are, at this point now, are really Democratic shills, because they're trying to like prove a point, and everything is about proving a point for the Democrats and making a win for the Democratic Party. So it's less about Black people. They don't care nothing about no Black people, nothing about Black Americans, none about that, because they're not advocating for reparations. They're sitting up there trying to prove a point about DEI, and they're trying to get a win for the Democrats. So Black people ain't really tripping on no Target. Not for real. Okay, I mean, I'm not telling nobody to shop at Target. Target ain't Black owned. I'm not telling nobody to shop at Target. But I'm trying to say is that ain't nobody tripping on Target. I'm not. Okay. Here's the thing. They're going to try to say the Essence Festival and why the turnout was so low is because of Target. Okay. That's what they're going to say. They're going to be all like, well, Black Americans, they feel some type of way about Target. It wasn't because they Africanized everything. It was because of Target. And they keep trying to do, they're going to start saying this is because they want to divert the attention away from the fact that this is cultural erasure. And they want to point the blame and put the blame on something else. They want to put the blame on, well, it's not the fact that we erase y'all culture. It's the fact that we included Target, and Target is just bad news. No, because Essence Festival has been going down way before the boycott of Target. The boycott of Target only started this year. And people been complaining about how Essence didn't have the same feeling to it. All right. So it's really nothing to do with the boycott of Target. Everybody who's complaining, the videos that are complaining about the Essence Festival, ain't nobody saying, well, I would have went if it wasn't for Target. Nobody's saying that. They're trying to deflect the issue. So they don't actually acknowledge the fact that it's the cultural erasure of foundational Black Americans. That's the problem. It's not Target. All right. Let's get to, because there's something else I want to play. Let's get to this super chat real quick. We got a couple of them. I'm gonna get to one and we're gonna play it. I was born in Africa and raised in the US. Black American gatekeep your culture. Too many people have profited off your work. Gatekeep. Hey, that's appreciate that. Everybody's profiting. Nobody can make another Essence. Because if they could, they would have. They would have been done that. There would have been an African or Nigerian or whatever the case is version of Essence, but they can't. Since they can't make their own version of Essence, since they can't make their own version of, and yeah, I appreciate that. So we got some writers, and I always give them their flowers. Since they can't make their own version of Essence, they can make their own version of Juneteenth. They can't make their own version of these things. What they're trying to do is they're trying to come in and then take it from us. So that's why they got to gatekeep. The same way with hip hop. Remember, you got the Caribbeans, or the Puerto Ricans rather, some Caribbeans, Jamaicans, but the Puerto Ricans, since they can't create their own version of hip hop, they're trying to take it from us. It's a takeover that we can't allow. Let me get to this. Let me get to this, brother, real quick. Hold on. Is this video up here? Okay, here it is. I'm gonna get to the super chat real quick because I don't want to fall too far behind. Marcus says, wasn't Essence pushing diverser and rainbow agendas 10 years ago? Oh yeah, that's another thing. And we're going to get to that. But now that you mention it, Essence has been pushing agendas against the community. Because when is the last time you guys heard of Essence, BET, none of these things push reparations or tangibles at all? Or try to hold anybody to a certain standard of tangibles. When have you heard of that? When have you seen that? But yet they'll push a candidate. There'll be shields for the Democratic Party. And they'll push an agenda for a political party. Huh? Don't you see Kamala there? And then you see all the way off to the side, you see the CEO of Essence. And then who's that? Gayle King. So they all there. Now Essence will be there and they'll push the Democratic line, the DNC agenda or whatever. You ain't seen them say nothing about no reparations. You don't see them saying nothing about that. Oh, but we got more to cover, y'all. We got more to go. Let me get to let me just clear the board real quick. Chris, appreciate Chris. He says they want us to drop being American so they can pick it up. When we'll hear it was African tribes that came over and ran the Underground Railroad for us. Let them go. Let them get an inch and they'll take a mile. Let them get an inch and they'll take a damn mile. They'll say Harriet Tubman was an African, was born in Africa. She wasn't, but she was born in Africa. She was born in Maryland. She was born in Africa, in Nigeria, and she came to America to run the Underground Railroads. That's not true, but if we let them start that lie, they'll go ahead. They'll say Emmett Till was Jamaican. He wasn't, but they'll say that. If we let them go ahead, everybody we know, because they're already trying to do that with Malcolm X, even though we know his mother is from Grenada, but his father was FBA, okay? And they were activists in America. The culture he came up in is America, okay? The Nation of Islam was full of FBA brothers, which when he joined that and Elijah Muhammad taught him, okay, that's when he became Malcolm X from Malcolm Little, okay? But yet they're trying to make it seem like he's a Grenadian American. So they're trying to strip his FBA heritage away from him, and they'll keep doing that. If they'll keep this takeover, which is what I titled it, they'll keep this takeover if we allow it. Okay, y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. Let's hit that like button. And let's continue. And before we say something, before I continue, actually, this isn't even a saying that we don't have people like Stokely Carmichael, Dr. Ben, or whoever the case is, coming from the diaspora who are writers. Nobody is saying that. Nobody is saying that everybody from the diaspora is a tether. Nobody is saying that. But we're saying is, why are you guys not focusing on your writers? Why are you guys looking to us and then trying to co-opt what we have? That's because you guys, a lot of them, have ethnic insecurity. And this is a destiny swap. And they're trying to replace, like literally tether. This is what they're doing. Instead of making themselves great, they would rather take from us. That is sad, but that's the truth, and we got to call that out. Okay.
Messed up the Essence Festival. How did y'all mess up the Essence Festival? I know why. People gonna say, well, because of Target and DI. No. It's the African and Caribbean. You trying to bring African and Caribbean into Black American culture. Then you have it in New Orleans, right? Think about it. These people was trying to sell Jollof versus they were trying to have a face-off with Jollof versus jambalaya. Come on now. How you gonna disrespect New Orleans like that, bringing Jollof there? You get what I'm saying? Now,
and y'all, I think Jollof is maybe a specialty in Kenya or whatever the case is. I think it is a specialty in Kenya or a specific dish in Kenya and Nigeria. I know Nigeria does Jollof. I think it's Nigeria and Kenya. If I'm correct, I think it's Nigeria and Kenya. I know for a fact it's Nigeria. But I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't know if it's just me speaking. But Jollof was, oh my, but Jollof was not an American. It was not Black American. We didn't grow up with Jollof. The only time you ever ate Jollof, you had to go to a restaurant to eat the Jollof. Because your family didn't cook it. Look at this. And I don't mean this in any disrespectful way. I really, really don't. But the only time you would see anything remotely close to this is if you're out of town and maybe you went somewhere out of town. You don't see this at Black Americans. This don't look no Black. And this ain't to be mean spirited or nothing like that. But if you ask your grandma what Jollof is, she probably wouldn't know. And I'm not saying this to be, because the thing is that we all have different foods and cultures and stuff like that, even in America. You know, there's some cultural foods that they might eat in South Carolina that they probably don't eat in Oakland. I mean, there's probably some stuff that they eat. Look, even the damn food they eat in Louisiana is probably different from the food they eat in Arkansas or Mississippi. So yeah, there's different cultural stuff, but overall we have a common theme. And Jollof is not there. Jollof ain't there. If you ask your grandma, your auntie, your uncle, your grandpa, what is in what is in jollof. They probably heard of it. If you ask them what is in jollof, they probably wouldn't be able to tell you. I can't tell you. I don't know what's in jollof. I know it's rice. That's all I know about jollof. This is not our culture. It's their culture. So they can do it on their own time. But y'all sitting up there trying to have y'all culture versus our culture, and then y'all trying to low-key give them the edge, low-key make jollof win. Why are y'all doing that? Essence was not like that. And this is what nobody's coming there to see. Nobody came there to see no jollof versus jambalaya. If you gave this to your grandma, she probably wouldn't know what it is. And I'm saying, and I swear to God, I'm not saying this because I know it feels like, damn, man, just because you don't eat jollof mean jollof bad. I'm not saying jollof is bad. I'm not saying jollof is bad. I'm saying jollof is not FBA. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying if we having a family reunion or a family get together, whatever the case is, and I bought a thing of jollof, everybody in the family is going to be like, what is that? That's what I'm saying. I can bring some pasta. I can bring some chicken. I can bring some fish. You know, I can bring some macaroni. I can bring some greens. I can bring some cornbread. You know what I'm saying? I can bring a whole lot of stuff. If I bought jollof, people going to look at me like, what is that? What did you, why are you bringing that here? There's some people who might eat it, might like it. But they're going to be like, hey, I don't know what you were trying, but next time bring the macaroni. Not to be disrespectful, but to tell the truth. And then you're going to compare that to our stuff. Jollof versus jambalaya, dude, if that's not a losing fight, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. You talking about some jollof versus jambalaya. I don't know. If that's not, this is why y'all had to sit up there and make jollof in the big font and jambalaya in the small font. If that's not a losing fight, I don't know what is. Okay. All right. Come on now. Because we can't let this slide. We just can't let this slide. But going back to I just had to pause it to emphasize that part. But going back to it.
I don't know about y'all black people, but my grandma and granddaddy never cooked no goddamn on jollof. They never cooked jollof before. I ain't bullshit. They never cooked it. Now, jambalaya, yes. And another thing people are saying, well, people don't have the money. Black Americans got money. You hear me? Don't let these folks lie to y'all think we ain't got no money to go there. Black Americans got paper. Are you seeing where black people traveling to every other weekend? Beyonce concert, even it might be used with Afterpay, but they still going. The reason why, once again, I made this on another video is because Africans and Caribbeans trying to force their culture on black Americans. That's not our style. That's just not us. They should have their own thing. Then the sad part about it, a black American woman ain't running it no more. Soon as those Africans got their hands on the Essence magazine or the festival, whatever, everything went downhill. Vendors can't do nothing. The locals can't do nothing because everybody want to put the Africans in there want to put their hands in the black American pockets out there in New Orleans. Come on, man. It ain't the same no more. Just like I said in the other video, anything Africans and Caribbeans get into that's black American always fail. Look, like I said in the video, look at our movies. Look at the movies. Just watch some of these movies. A lot of these people ain't black Americans. They just not. And it don't hit the same. TV shows don't hit the same. It just don't. I'm sorry, it just don't. It's not working. And I hope corporate media, people that invest in seeing they wasting their money on these people. Black Americans, man, we just a different type of breed. And you can't mix that with us. You can't do that. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Let me go back to this right quick. I'm gonna end right here. I know people that listen to Afro beats. I get it. I know people that listen to reggae music. I understand it. But majority of people don't listen to that. They just don't. So it's not because black Americans don't got no money. Black Americans got money. Target, I didn't even know Target was even having, black folks don't care about no goddamn Target. I still shop at Target. Just to be real. It's because people are bridging cultures together that just don't mesh well with Black American culture. And especially the disrespect to New Orleans culture out there. Trying to give people Joe Law. Nobody want no Joe Law. Come on now.
Hey, come on now. Come on now. Let me get to some of these super chats because I still got it. And shout out to Tawanda for the cash out. I appreciate you. Thank you so very much. Let me get to some of this super chats real quick because we still, I'm telling y'all, tonight's gonna be one for the books because there's still a whole nother thing. It was not a different, but there's still much more we got to break down. Boy, it's been a long weekend. My good brother from Cal, tell it like it is. He says the Essence Fest was a flop because FBAs don't want to go. And the tethers are hiding from ICE. Oh Lord. It says if they use the same energy to build their own crap, they would be better off. Man, it's a thing where y'all keep feeling like y'all gotta instead of clawing our stuff from us, y'all can look and y'all be like, you know what? Okay, well, let's have a whole thing of, even though they do, and let's be honest, they have African festivals and African holidays and parades and stuff like that. And here's the thing, y'all, it's not popping. It don't pop. It doesn't pop. Let me tell you guys why it doesn't pop. Because you guys are insecure. Now, let's break it down. Okay, because you got to tell the truth to shame the devil. Tell the truth, shame the devil. The reason why y'all stuff ain't popping like our stuff and y'all want to be attached and co-op Juneteenth is because y'all stuff don't pop. Why do y'all stuff don't pop? Because y'all are insecure because the second we step in the room, all eyes on us like we Tupac. And next thing you know, we become the focal point and the center of attention. And y'all are insecure about that, and y'all don't want that, so y'all don't want us around because y'all don't want us to steal what you guys feel like is your spotlight. Y'all remember this. Hold on. Y'all remember this whole thing.
We need to start gatekeeping carnival.
Hold on.
There's no reason on this earth for anybody that's not. We need to start gatekeeping carnival.
Now, I want you guys to understand the whole we need to start gatekeeping carnival. Carnival was not no super big thing until you saw Black American celebrities, FBA celebrities started to go to carnival. Then everybody was all like, hey, damn, carnival's cool, whatever the case is. It wasn't until FBA celebrities started to go to carnival and started to dress up, even though they're not Caribbean. That's what put carnival on the map. They've been doing carnival for a long time and it was overlooked. Nobody knew what they were doing. Everybody thought it was weird at first, to be honest. Everybody thought it was kind of strange. Their dances, their clothes, it was kind of skimpy and strange. It was when FBA celebrities started going and participating or whatever the case is, then they're like, oh, okay, cool. And then when the focal point, when the centering of carnival, when we started getting more attention from carnival than they feel like the Caribbean did, now they all like, okay, y'all gotta go. Y'all gotta grow. It's that one girl who's insecure and she don't want none of her other friends to be quote unquote prettier than her. So if y'all all go out, you gotta dress down because she wants to look better. She wants to look like the best girl in the group. You know what I'm saying? So she don't want you to put that much makeup on, or she don't want you to wear a certain dress, or she don't want you to put on a certain perfume because it's going to make her look small according to her. That's what it is.
Gatekeeping carnival. There is no reason on this earth for anybody that's not from the Caribbean to be at carnival. And I don't care how y'all feel on the subject. Carnival is starting to get too commercialized for me. Y'all know I love Jada Waiter, but what the fuck do her and her American friends know about carnival? You're
okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. You're not from the culture. All of that stuff is you're not from the culture. You don't understand. And we didn't trip on that. But it's the fact that now when we start getting into it, it just is this. It's a fire. It's a fire that nobody else has. nobody else gets, nobody else can replicate. Nobody, are you feeling what I'm saying? Are we locked in, family? Nobody else can replicate this fire that we have. So when we step in the room, it's like everybody's eyes is a magnet focused on us. They're hyper focused like a laser on what are we doing? How are we doing that? That's so creative. That's so innovative. That's so fresh. That's so unique. That looks so good. And it makes everybody else look like, the side characters to the main story, and that bothers them. So they don't want us around what they got going on, and because we're not around that, what they got going on just ain't gonna pop. It's just not gonna pop like that. And so now they want to come and take what we got going on. Do you guys remember? And the thing is, we not gonna let that happen. Y'all remember Michael B. Jordan? And I keep having to bring it up because I got to show y'all the receipts. I can't let it die. I cannot let this die. Do you guys remember FBA brother Michael B. Jordan? He was all like, okay, I'm a launcher drink or Gervais, I believe it's pronounced, which really the name starts in France. It's a French name, French word. And he was all like, okay, I'm going to do that. And the Caribbean was all like, nope, that's cultural appropriation. How dare you? You are not Caribbean. You need to apologize and change the name. Don't you dare do that with your Black American FBA ass. Don't you dare. Don't, Michael, you stay away from here. Because Michael B. Jordan, let's be honest, there's no Caribbean version of Michael B. Jordan. And what he got going on, y'all seen the movie Sinners? Come on. Michael B. Jordan's everything he has been doing for the last few years has been popping. Every movie he's been in, been sitting up there breaking records. You know what I'm saying? There's no Caribbean version of Michael B. Jordan. So the second he step in the room, y'all want him out because now the focus in the center is going to be on FBA. Now it's going to be on foundational Black American. Okay. And y'all can't, and that makes y'all insecure. So that's y'all problem. So y'all got your own internal insecurities to deal with. Y'all really do. So going back to what the video, because the brother made a video of, hey man, Essence is about Black American, and y'all messed it up when y'all tried to make this all lives matter version of Essence. And then look at this response.
Move out.
Hold on. Look at it. Hold on. Let me make it bigger. I'll put you down. Come
on. Move out. We are taking over. Go cry to master. Black Americans, I want y'all to understand why delineation is the best thing ever that we
in the response doing. He says, move out. We're taking over. We're taking over. Go cry to massa. Now, what he said was actually not disrespectful to anybody. He didn't offend nobody. He didn't offend or disrespect Afro beats. He didn't disrespect Jollof rice. He didn't disrespect the Caribbean. He didn't disrespect Africa or any person. He just explained why the culture of it and why the theme of it is dying down, which it is, and nobody can deny it. And then they say, oh, we're taking over. See, that's what they think. And they hide it under the guise of, well, we're all African and we all came from the motherland and we all should be represented. And under the guise of quote unquote Pan-Africanism, they have the mentality of a takeover. So this is a disguised takeover. And this is how they feel about it. The same way they do with Juneteenth, the same way they do with hip hop, the same way they do with Essence, the same way they do with a lot of stuff. It's a takeover because they don't just want to be in the room. They want us out the room. That's the problem.
Move out. We are taking over. Go cry to master. Black Americans, I want y'all to understand why delineation is the best thing ever that we are doing. Essence Festival showed the world that we're delineating from these people. They can't get nothing popping in America without tethering on to us.
See? I said it, and this is why they get so upset when we step in the room.
They just can't. They can't do it. I'm sorry, they just can't do it. It's a reason why things are happening to them. It's a reason why, if y'all ever watch these deportation videos where Africans got to go back to their homeland, oh, they boo-hooing crying. They boo-hooing and crying. They do not want to go back. Don't let these people trick you into thinking like, hey, we Pan-Africanism. I'm going to get to that too. But hey, y'all should go back to Africa. It's beautiful out here. Da-da-da-da. We got culture and blah, 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 and all that. Why they not going back? They want to replace us here in America.
Thank you. All of this we hate, and don't let nobody say that. Listen to me, family. Listen to me, okay? I gotta pause it so I can say that. Throughout the last half a millennia, there has not been a single group of people on the planet that has been more pro-Africa than foundational Black Americans. There is not even a close comparison. It's not even close. There has not been anybody who's made more sacrifices. We can talk about the apartheid. We can talk about Black FBA soldiers going in to fight in Ethiopia, teaching them how to fly and all of that stuff. We can talk about us fighting for their right to even come here. There has not been a group of people on the planet, including in Africa, that's been more pro-Africa than FBA. Don't let anybody say this is something about us hating y'all or something, right? They're making this stuff up. This is a projection. They're making that up because that's never been the case. It's never been the case where we feel like there's some type of rivalry. Y'all feel like there's some type of rivalry. Y'all feel like it's us versus them. That's how you guys are feeling. When you at the top, you don't fear no competition. How are we the influence? We're the ones everybody's copying, but we got some insecurity of somebody else. No, and we see y'all wearing Jordans and Timbs and rapping and doing y'all hair like us. Y'all trying to be us. We ain't trying to be y'all. No disrespect. But yeah, if you the influence, if you the culture, you're not insecure of nobody. You're not trying to be like nobody else. They're trying to be like us. So they get this rivalry. When you first place, you're not looking back at second place. You 2-3 laps ahead. You're not looking back at second and third place. Second and third place looking at who in first place. First place ain't looking. The winners don't worry about the losers. The losers worry about the winners. That's just the truth. Come on, we adults. Let's talk about the truth. That's the truth of it. And you guys have been built up and been taught and bred that it's gotta be this us versus you. That's how y'all culture is, because y'all are like that with each other. We're going to tell the truth tonight that y'all like that with each other in Africa if it's this us versus you. So don't come here on some we jealous of y'all because y'all not working together and getting it popping in Africa with all those resources and stuff like that y'all got going on. Y'all should be running the world if y'all had some sense. Okay? But y'all don't do that. Y'all don't even like the same tribes in the same nation. So y'all are on that type of time with the tribalism and stuff like that y'all got going on. Y'all are stuck in this us versus you mindset. We don't get that. We don't feel that way. Okay? We don't feel that way. So all of that is y'all kind of hating on us and y'all don't like. No, that's a projection. That's a projection. Okay?
They want to down talk America but uplift Africa. But if you really think about it, ain't nothing popping in Africa. Y'all seen videos of Black Americans going out there trying to help. They getting unalived out there. They getting their land took out there. It ain't nothing positive to go out there. I've been there before. You land in Lagos in Nigeria or whatever. As soon as you get out there, it's a shakedown. It's a shakedown. You can't even just walk through the airport without 50 people begging you for money, begging you to pay this, pay that. You got even officers out there trying to scam you out of money. Why would you want to go there? How can we work with scammers like that? Huh? Why we want to work with people like this right here? Huh? I've been saying this since I've been on this app about these people. Not all my African brothers are like this and sisters are like this. But we got these over here that's like this, over here right now. And they just wait, they just want us to leave, but they would never leave. They would never leave. And we ain't going nowhere. We don't flee. We never fled. My great-grandparents never said, America getting so bad, you know, Jim Crow, oh my God, slavery, oh my God, we getting hung from trees. I think we should run to Africa. My great-grandparents never say we're going to stay here and fight for what's ours. We don't blame the government for everything. We know what the government do. We're going to fight back against the government. We don't blame the leaders. We change the leaders. If the leaders ain't doing nothing, we're going to change them again. We ain't like these people, bro. They ain't got our spirit, man. They ain't got our spirit. That's why Essence failed. That's what anything they attach themselves to fail. It goes back to movies. Movies fail. When they try to play our icons, it failed. Look at the Harriet movie. Failed. You got an African playing Harriet Tubman. She wasn't even natural. Look at it. Yeah, but anyway, y'all have a good Sunday. Move out.
Look. Come on, man. And if that's the truth, y'all put the black fist emoji in the chat room. If he's speaking nothing but straight up facts, straight up the truth, put the black fist emoji in the chat room. And this is something that we can't relate to. When they come over or when they call into our lives, when they call into Twitter spaces, whatever the case is, and they be trying to make it seem like we don't understand, when we be all like, okay, y'all fled. Oh, you don't understand. We fled because our country was demonetized and all of that stuff. Our country was sabotaged. We looking like, dude, there's nothing that we don't get from anybody. There's nothing that we don't understand. Okay, when we even we was having this whole thing, we had this big live, and you had a whole bunch of Latinos who are like, no, our country's been destabilized, and we all like, what's new? We get that. Y'all, the majority, we the minority, and our communities have been destabilized, bombed, flooded. And we all like, hey, man, we're going to have to pick up the scraps and we're going to have to make it do what it do. We're going to have to start over again. We ain't never been like, God, man, come on. We're just going to have to leave. That's never been that. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. Otherwise, y'all wouldn't be here. Because we've never been on that type of time. So when y'all come here and y'all feel like y'all have some type of authority to speak from that type of time, we're sitting up there looking like, first off, y'all like cowards. So if that's the case, we can't, y'all don't have no influence over anything. I had a TikTok live. Okay, y'all got to go subscribe to the For the Culture thing because I'll be dropping the TikTok lives there. There was a Somalian, okay, and he called and he talked about hip hop culture and the degeneracy of hip hop culture and stuff like that. And I said, okay, cool. Should foundational Black Americans look at Somalia to be our inspiration? Should we be trying to be more like Somalia? And he was all, well, yeah, ancient Somalia. I'm like, no. Current Somalia. He had to say no. I said, exactly. Because if y'all was like that, y'all would be over there. If y'all was really on that, y'all would be over there in Somalia, but you're here. You all are here because you guys felt like here is better than where you're from. That's it. Nobody leaves their country and go to a country that they think is worse off. Nobody. Okay? You guys left because you felt like our country was better than your country. Okay? We don't do that. We can't relate to that. Okay? So when y'all have the audacity to come here and wag y'all finger or step out of line to any degree, it's not being tolerated. Okay? the best y'all can do is get in the back. You need to ask for instructions. We'll give it to you, and then y'all can do what y'all got to do. But y'all sitting up there thinking like, okay, I don't like my homeland, so I'm gonna come to your homeland and make it more like mine. And we saying no. We're saying no. You're not gonna sit up there and make our homeland, your homeland, a comfortable place for you because you don't have the spine it takes to go home and fix your homeland. So you're making this Kenya 2.0. You're making this Nigeria 2.0. You're making this the Caribbean 2.0. And it's going to be 0.0. That's what it's going to be. Y'all go home and y'all can make Nigeria 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, 10.0, a million. But that's fine there. Y'all can make the Caribbean that there. Y'all can make that Haitian there. Y'all can make that Jamaican, Kenyan, Nigerian, y'all make that there. Y'all not gonna come over here and make anything 2.0 nothing. This land is already spoken for. All right? It's spoken for. We standing on business so much so you got some of the damn massa lovers who's agreeing. Okay? Y'all gonna look, a broken clock is right twice a day. It's right twice a day. I don't agree with nothing else this guy got to say. But even when I saw this, I was even surprised because our influence and our message is so damn potent. It's all like, damn, everybody got to agree with what we on now. Y'all look at this. Y'all going to be surprised when y'all see this.
By a bunch of Africans. There is no black.
And y'all already know this dude is one of the biggest massa lovers, boot licking, tap dancers, sambos you can find, period. And even the FBA culture got to him. The FBA culture got to him. The ancestors had to get him right on one time.
Essence Fest is whack and wash now because it's run by a bunch of Africans. There is no Black American culture that is reflected in Essence Fest anymore. Essence's CEO is an African. The chief, I don't know, one of their chief top level executives and officers is an African. The person that owns Essence Ventures is an African. So what used to be a celebration of Black American culture, the culture that is ours, the culture that we built from the ground up, the culture that Black Americans influenced the world through, has now been co-opted by some African diaspora, Pan-African, whatever, and a lot of Black people are just not feeling it. Now, I went to Essence Fest for the first time a couple of years ago. I think it was like Nicki Minaj, New Edition, and Janet Jackson were the headliners. It was absolutely incredible. It was the celebration of Black Americanness. There were Black people in and up and through it. It was a pure celebration of Black American culture and Black American heritage. But now that it's been co-opted by a bunch of Africans, it seems that nobody cares because they don't set culture for this world. We do. And until Essence Fest gets back to the Black Americans who created it and founded it and lead the culture, it will continue to fail with those Africans in charge. Essence Fest.
Look, I know a lot of y'all surprised. I know a lot of y'all probably thought y'all was going to live the rest of y'all life and not hear anything that y'all agreed with from that dude. I did. But look, a broken clock is right twice a day. That don't mean that the clock ain't broken now. Hold on. That don't mean that the clock ain't broken. Because, yeah, you might be right one time or twice. That don't mean the clock ain't broken. I'm not co-signing nothing else he's saying. But I'm just saying how our influence is now impacting everybody. So much so everybody got to agree like, yeah, man, y'all all right. And they keep saying stuff like, oh, y'all just talking online. And now you're seeing everybody saying the same exact thing. Everybody's getting on board. All we had to do is stay on code and stay on course. Like the Wiz, just follow the yellow brick road and that everything is coming along. Everybody is falling in line the way they're supposed to. Okay? Not like him. I'm still not accepting him. I'm just saying the influence that we're having is spreading. That's all I'm saying. All right. Let me get to the super chats because there's still some other stuff I wanted to get to. Diamond, our beloved sister Diamond. Shout out to Diamond. Thank you. I am an esteemed FBA from South Carolina. I'm proud my family still has family treasures from the 1800s. Chase McGee, also an FBA with a YouTube. Hold on. FBA history. You and him would make a great collab. FBA style. Yeah, I like Chase. Chase is I've been following Chase. I know he's doing his thing on YouTube now. He was really on Instagram for his Mustang. I think that's where he really grew his brand. Shout out to Chase. Shout out to Chase. Tell Chase, good job. I mean, I wouldn't mind doing a collab. Chase is a smart brother. Shout out to Chase. Shout out to Chase. I even got one of his books too. Shout out to Chase. My good beloved sister, Nisi. Nisi, look. I already knew before I went live. I'm like, let me get my glasses. Let me get my glasses so she don't have to say. I was looking through the desk. I'm all like, let me dust my glasses off, wipe my glasses down so she won't say anything. I already knew because she be on it. She be on it about the glasses. I already knew. The second I went on live, I'm like, hold on. She in the chat room already. Let me find these glasses. I already knew because she don't be playing. But she says, cookout, I'm bringing homemade macaroni and cheese, potato salad, no raisins. Please, thank you. Please and thank you. No raisins, fried chicken. I cooked what I know. Oh, she cooked what she know, which mean ain't no jollof gonna be there. That means she ain't got no jollof. Ain't no jollof. Jollof ain't gonna be there. That's what she mean. But shout out to her, yeah. And that's not even disrespectful, but she just don't know it. That's all she trying to say. She just don't know it. Okay. Shout out to 7. This is a good super chat. Says you're speaking nothing but facts. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Appreciate you. Thank you. And then Sister Vicky, appreciate Vicky for the super sticker. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you. Now I want to talk about. There's a mayoral candidate whose name is Zoran Mamdani. Zoran Mamdani, what's interesting about him is that he was born in Ethiopia. I think he's some type of Indian, I guess. I think his heritage, is some type of Indian. But he was born in Ethiopia, and turns out he comes here in America and he starts classifying himself as an African American. He starts classifying. Oh, he's Arab. Okay, Arab. Okay, yeah, sometimes you can't really tell. Arab. He ain't black, and he's admitted himself he's not black, and he doesn't identify as black. But yet on documents he classifies himself as African American, and this is another reason why we gotta delineate, because this stuff is too vague. Because he was born in Africa, but he's not FBA. But he'll classify himself as African American, just like Elon Musk, just like Myron Gaines. Okay, so now, and this is because our lineage and ethnicity is being put on front page, and we're keeping it there. That's why the song "Not Like Us" was so relevant, because that's relevant to our culture. That's why the Super Bowl with Kendrick Lamar, when he was doing his thing with the American flag and he was saying "not like us," that's why that stuff is so potent to our culture. All right. That's why Beyonce with the Cowboy Carter tour, with the American themes and all of that stuff, that's why that stuff is super popular, because that is tapping into our heritage in America. And because we're tapping into our heritage in America and focusing on us specifically, it's leaving everybody else in our shadow. So now what we got a lot of people doing is we got a lot of people trying to find the loophole and say, well, I'm an African American too. This is why we got to delineate. Even on the paperwork, I took a screenshot from the newest census. So even on the paperwork, they're even breaking down further if you're African American, even though we're still trying to we're culturally trying to make a more specific and distinct term as the normalized term, like foundational Black American. All right. but African American, even though that's not as specific as we need, but they're even making a distinction between African American and Jamaican American, or Haitian American, Nigerian American, Ethiopian American, Somali American. Okay. And then they'll say, if you're not on the list, whether you're Ghanaian, South African, or Barbadian, whatever, you need to write that in. Okay. So yeah, you can be black, but then you gotta put, if you're black, you are Black American. Now we still got ways to go, because the African American thing, you'll still have people be all like, hey, I'm technically an African American if you really think about it. So we still got some ways to go. But with this, with the census going on, I'm wondering, this is a way for us to know we're making progress when it comes to delineation, when it comes to highlighting the fact that we're not immigrants like everybody else is trying to claim. We're not immigrants. All right. We are not that. We are unique here. We have a unique history here. And everybody is trying to clamp onto that and tether onto that and trying to make it seem like we're all immigrants. And we're not. And this is even coming from the top. This is coming from the DNC and all of this stuff. Let me show you. You have Ricky Smiley talk about some we immigrants. Let me show y'all this. Now, Ricky Smiley, he already got called out by Cat Williams last year, late last year, or early last year, rather.
I'm not trying to scare nobody, but we are in danger. If you haven't been watching the news and checking out everything that's going on, we're in a lot of danger right now, because the Constitution, the United States Constitution, as we know it, they about to cut all through that. And we are accustomed to having rights. All your rights, all of our rights is at risk right now. That whole Make America Great Again, as far as this administration and the way he is going and the way things are going. And when they say great again, that means your ass don't have no rights. If you go and watch Joy Reid videos, if you get an opportunity to watch Joy Reid videos, go watch them. You'll learn a lot, especially her video on slavery. Oh, we're gonna wait till the midterm election comes. Ain't gonna be no midterm election. You better look into getting a dual citizenship somewhere if you can.
No. The answer is no. We're not looking to get no dual citizenship for the sake of fleeing anywhere. There's FBAs who've been all around the world. They ain't trying to flee. You got I know a bunch of FBAs who've been all through Africa, all through the Caribbean, all through Europe, even to Asia. They ain't trying to flee. All of this, guys, we doomed. We gotta get up out of here, y'all. It's almost over. We ain't on that. We are not doing none of that. The second we go, we be all like, okay, this cool, but I need to go back home. You know that, especially when you reach a certain age, you ain't trying to stay nowhere outside of your house for that long. When you reach a certain age, you be like, oh, this been fun, but let me get back to my bed. I want to go home. They don't feel comfortable anywhere else. We ain't gonna feel comfortable nowhere else. We is not getting you gotta get it. And from where? And from where? Who else is offering 42 million foundation Black American citizenship in their country? Who else is offering that? Where will we go? First off, nobody's gonna give us nothing, but we ain't asking, because we're not going nowhere. Now you can lift your skirt up and run away, but we ain't doing that. We standing on business.
Because yep, things about to get ugly. Things about to get really really ugly. Yep. And I'm scared. Scared. it might be a point where we might have to pack up our families and leave, because if ICE can get immigrants or whatever and just go and get them, and without their due process in court, why can't they do it to everybody else? Now,
because we're not immigrants. If ICE can get them, ICE can get us. No, they can't. No, they cannot. ICE can't get us because we're not from anywhere else. We are only from here. We built here. We are the soil, the roots, the original people here. We are not going anywhere else. There is nowhere else they can send us to. Do you understand? And I played this just so he can get to this point. The whole I'm scared and ICE is going to pick me up and take me away. Maybe you, but they ain't doing that to me. And they ain't doing that to y'all. They are not doing that. I'm scared. There's nothing to be scared of, as FBA is not. Do you understand that deportation is not no new thing? This is all coming from the top. This is all coming from the DNC. Do you understand that presidents for hundreds of years have been deporting people? Do you understand Obama deported people? Biden deported people? So when Democrats deport people, they don't try to send this signal out to be like, guys, ICE is going to get us and we're going to get deported, guys. They deporting people. No. You got every president who's got people under their administration, people have been deported. And we've been staying here. Ain't nothing been happening to us. They make it seem like deportation is some new thing. If ICE can get them, they can get you. No. ICE has been getting them for the last 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 years and ain't came and looked at me twice. So I'm fine. I am fine. We are not immigrants. I'm not packing up and leaving nowhere. I'm not doing that. We're not doing that. We are not immigrants. All right. See, and this is why we got to make sure we delineate and stuff like that, because the term African American, and you have other people from outside the lineage embedding themselves into our term, or into a term that is referred to for us, that is designated for us. It makes it seem as if we're all immigrants. It puts us in the light as if we're all immigrants, and we are not all immigrants. They are from a different place. We are not from a different place. They are immigrants. We are not immigrants. And this is why when we acknowledge our culture, people get upset about that. When we acknowledge our American heritage, people feel some type of way about that, because it highlights to everybody that we acknowledge that we're not immigrants. So when Beyonce is out there with the flag or whatever the case is, she's acknowledging the fact that, yeah, we have American heritage here. When Kendrick was out there using the dancers to represent the flag, it acknowledged the fact that we have American heritage here. Our lineage is here. And y'all not going to be able to trick us with the whole thing we're immigrants, because we're not. And y'all can stay mad about it, but that's just going to be what it is. That's just the case. That's just going to be how it is, and it's not going nowhere. We're not changing that. You got people who are literally trying to create different, just crazy logic to make us be immigrants. Just insane logic. Listen to this, y'all.
Black people.
Hold on.
Black people are not indigenous to this land, so if you say that you don't care about Black immigrant struggle, that means you don't care about your own struggle.
Who said that? Oh, I did. Black people are not native to this land. So if you don't care about the immigrant struggle, you don't care about your own struggle if you're a Black person.
And see, this is why we got to make sure we stamp our claim here. We are not immigrants. And they want us to do this because that makes us free agents to their agenda. So when it comes to immigrant rights, we fighting for it like it pertains to us, which is why with the ICE protest, they sit up there scratching their head, wondering where we're at. And we telling them and keep telling them we ain't coming because we not immigrants. and they keep wondering and asking about it. We're not coming because we're not immigrants, and ICE ain't got nothing to do with us. ICE has been around for a very, very, very long time, and people have been deported for a very, very, very long time, except us. So we're not worried about that. And they keep trying to gaslight and retell the history. We have history revisionists out here sitting up there saying we're all immigrants, and we ain't. Talking, if you ain't native, you an immigrant. We built America. But let's come on.
We are immigrants. Black people are immigrants in this country because we are not indigenous to this land. I'm gonna keep saying it. Every single Black person, whether you are the descendant of slaves like me, I am a descendant of slaves who came from Kentucky, Oklahoma, and eventually made their way to Texas. If you're like me, the descendant of slaves, you might call yourself FBA, you are an immigrant. Every single FBA person is an immigrant. Why?
I want y'all to understand. Immigrant has a very specific definition that has been universally understood and accepted. What being an immigrant means is you are leaving one place to go to another place. In the words of immigration, you are leaving your nation to go to and be a citizen of another nation. We, even if you want to say there were no Black people who are indigenous here, we know that's not true. And we've been known that's not true. It wasn't only until TikTok where people are gaslighting and acting like the scientific fact that we've known for the last decade doesn't exist. Okay. But even if you want to say all of us came here on the slave ships, we're still not immigrants in that situation. In that circumstance, we're still not immigrants because we didn't leave a nation and come to another nation because America wasn't a nation before we built it. So by definition, no matter how you feel like Black people got here, we're not immigrants. No matter what if we're mixed with natives, if we're just African, no matter how you slice it and dice it, we're not immigrants by definition because we did not come to America. We built America. Everybody else came to America. Everybody else is an immigrant. We are the only non-immigrants. All right. Let's let her finish. We're going to let her finish because we gotta fact check all this stuff. We're going to show some receipts after this.
Because our people were brought here on ships. They did not come here when Columbus and all of those other...
You saying brought here. America was not here. Columbus didn't make America. Columbus wasn't even in North America. Columbus didn't discover North America. He didn't really discover America, if we're going to be honest. But when people talk about Columbus discovering America or the Americas for the Europeans, he didn't even discover North America. And Columbus didn't establish America. Okay? When you had the Spanish who came to America in 1526, the Moors ran them off because Moors were already here. Okay? We know the history of that. But and they're trying to redefine what an immigrant is and move the goalposts so we can fit under that umbrella, and that's just not going to work.
Other explorers discovered this land and they discovered the people on this land. They didn't find Black people. They found indigenous people. We are not indigenous to this land. So from actually even this point, you are an immigrant. We are all immigrants because we are not native to this land.
No. And you keep speaking all this French. We is not immigrants. You can speak for yourself, but no, I'm not no damn immigrant. I'm not no immigrant. Now, what's interesting about this is that she'll sit up there and say, we're not native to this land. And that's like native erasure or whatever the case is, whatever they like to say is native erasure or whatever. And then you'll have a $5 Indian who will claim to be native, white as snow. I'm talking about Snow White Pocahontas. Snow White. And they ain't gonna say nothing about them claiming to be native. Okay. Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. Let me pull this up real quick. Where is it? Oh, right here. Look at this. Took a second.
We're going to talk about this uproar that...
Look at this woman. Take a good look. She will claim to be indigenous to America, and ain't nobody gonna challenge that. Ask her what tribe she's from. She gonna tell you the $5 tribe. She's from the $5 tribe, and nobody's gonna challenge her being indigenous. If you try to say she's not indigenous or whatever the case is, that's cultural erasure is what they'll call it. She gets to claim to be indigenous. Look at the white as Snow White looking ass. And she'll claim to be indigenous, but you as a black person say you got any part of you that's indigenous, they'll be all like, oh no, you're a pretendian and you just hate Africa, you're not indigenous. All of the people who were in America looked white. The only people claiming to be indigenous today are damn near white people. Everybody in the world, let them tell it, was white before. Let them tell it. Everybody in the world was originally white. If we let them go ahead. Everybody was white. Black people were originally white. Everybody was white. Let them tell it.
Hey friends, we're going to talk about this uproar that has been caused by this shirt that Beyonce was wearing with the buffalo soldiers on the front and the not so nice things about tribes on the back. I'm currently working on my master's of legal studies in indigenous peoples law, so I'm going to be lending that background, that history to this discussion.
I don't know what you look like. You look like Taylor Swift's cousin. You look like you're related to Taylor Swift, okay? You look like you're related to Justin Bieber. All right. You know, what are you talking about? You look like you related to Britney Spears, okay? Talk about some I'm indigenous. Man, please. Who are you fooling? Now, you would fool that other Tether girl, but you ain't fooling me.
Now, I'm sure we've all seen this video being stitched over and over again of this one woman in particular using the argument that the 5 civilized tribes had slaves and sided with the Confederacy. Therefore, what is on the back of Beyonce's shirt is justified. I want you to ask yourself, before we even dive into this, why were they called the 5 civilized tribes?
Because of you and people who look like you. Why were they called the 5 civilized tribes? I'm sure you know, because you're one of them. Because of you. Why were they called that? What'd you do? Ask your grandpa? Who did you ask? Your grandma? Why did they call it that? Oh yeah, because we came in and took it over. That's why. Because of you.
It's because the people in power at the time, the white people in power at the time, saw...
She said white, like and listen, she will claim the white people in power in time. You mean your brother? You mean your dad and mom? Don't try to say the white people as if you ain't living in the house with white. Come on. They think that they could do a couple of braids in their hair and claim to be native and fool everybody.
That these 5 tribes had adopted Christianity, had a slave-based economy, which obviously is not a good thing, but it's a historical fact we can't change, amongst other things that they viewed as civilized.
Taylor Swift, come get your cousin. Taylor Swift, come get your cousin. Come on. Taylor Swift, come get her. Come on now. Get your cousin, Taylor. She out here pretending to be an Indian. Okay. Get your $5 cousin. Come on. What we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? The whole we native, that we just not, and they're not going to be challenged. Now, let me get to some of the super chats before we thoroughly break that down and debunk that. Shout out to my brother Breeze. He says, didn't I say you was going to be big bro? Oh yeah, I'm on a bumper. I'm on a bumper about tonight. I'm on it tonight. Chris again says the only thing in danger is the the damn DMC checks. Yeah, them DMC checks, because y'all was caping for Kamala and she didn't win. So now you in danger of losing your damn house and mortgage. So yeah, you in danger, but we cool. Okay. Norik, I'm not sure exactly. I can't see it all, but appreciate. Let me see. Erlson, let me say, shout out to Erlson, says, have you seen the video of African proposing to old obese white women at airports so they can get a freed card? Yeah, they can get a freed card to escape. Yeah, I've seen that. They got a whole show about that. They got a whole show. They be sitting up there, be all like, I love you. I have never loved anybody like you before. We are going to get married. We are going to have a lot of children. We are going to live in a big village. We are going to come to America, and we are going to love each other. And then the second they get home, the second they get to the States, they follow. I never loved her. I never loved her. She is big and fat, and she is stinking. She smells like mail and all this stuff. She did. I have been eating cold hot dogs and things like that, and I don't like it anymore. I only came so I can get my green card. I have my green card right here. I have my green card. So I do not want to go back home, and I do not want to go to my white wife. You are not going to send me anywhere else. I had to sleep with her for nights and nights and nights, and it was terrible. It was very, very bad. It was very bad. I was sick. Her hair's all over the place, and she's so big, and she's so fat and so sloppy and mean. But I am escaped. I am free now. I am free, nigga. I am free. I have my green card right here. I am not going back. I am an African American now. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I've seen that. And they be happy too. Oh, they be happy to leave. They be happy to flee. They be happy to bow. Lord have mercy. They be happy. Oh my God, they don't want to go back. Okay. Oh my God, they don't want to go back. And then their wife got to call ICE. It just be a mess. It just be a mess. They wife be having to call ICE to get a divorce. She be asking ICE. She be filing missing persons report on the ICE website. Okay. She be like, he's this tall. He's very skinny. You know what I'm saying? He can run really fast. Oh, come on now. What are we doing? And everything like that. Oh, Lord. Okay. He'll come here. He'll drop a couple anchor babies just to be safe. He'll drop a couple anchor babies. He'll come over here and he'll be the Prince of Zamunda. He'll be like, back home in my village, I have a lot of wealth. I'm only coming over here so I can expand my network. Okay? But I love you. I love you so much. And I want to get married to you. And I want to have a lot of children today. I want to have it today, right now. I have children right now so our children can be wealthy. Okay, they be dropping anchor babies all over the place. Okay, sis, come on now. We can't be falling for that and everything like that. He's like, oh, something happened with the Tether over there. So let me have your credit card. I'm going to transfer my wealth. I have a kingdom. We're going to be wealthy. I'm going to buy you everything you ever wanted. But I just need your credit card for one night. I love you. And then they come home, you give me your credit card, never see it again. Okay. Don't do that. They do not have wealth like that. Okay. Anyway, let's get to Dakota Jenkins. He says we are brick hard. Yeah, the brick hard US. It says we stand 10 toes. We stand 10 toes down. We stand 10 toes. We ain't trying to flee. We ain't trying to run. We ain't trying to bounce. My brother William says Columbus discovered, quote, the new world, not America. Yeah, he didn't. And folks, Columbus didn't discover that. And then a lot of other explorers also said there were black people here. So the lie that there were no black people here, that's a new lie. They're trying to revise history. And we know that's not the case. Okay. Halo. Shout out to Halo. It's Halo. How you doing, Halo? Shout out to Halo. She be on TikTok with me. We be standing on business. And BX is in the room. The TikTok family is in here. We be standing on business. Okay. Easy says, keep preaching, brother. We honor our ancestors by reclaiming our rightful place in America. Us in the world. Yeah, we do. We do. We claim our place here, and we not planning on going nowhere. We ain't planning on doing nothing, leaving anywhere. Okay, we are here. We belong here. And you know who's been saying this for the longest time? Shout out to our brother, Dr. Claude Anderson. Dr. Claude Anderson has been saying this for the longest time. He's been saying this. Okay, look, let's pull up some receipts. While you talk about we all immigrants, this is why Dr. Claude Anderson been saying that we need to delineate and distinguish ourselves as our own people.
He came here, his ancestors came here to get free handouts. That's why they came here. No immigrant spent 3 months crossing perilous oceans to get to the United States looking for happiness. They came here to get handouts, to get free benefits. See, understand this, Rock, and I want your audience to understand it too. 99% of all the black people in America are the direct descendants of slaves, which means they were here before 99% of all the other people arrived. All these people are coming to this country boasting about my family came from Germany, my parents came from Ireland, my parents came from Greece or Italy. They came here for a specific reason, to get benefits. They get unearned benefits, to profit and enjoy the fruits of black folks' labor and the Indian land. They've already gotten theirs. And now what they're saying is that now that we've gotten everything, we got control of it, we got it free and passed it from generation to next generation, we're not gonna let you have anything. And see, that's grossly unfair and it's immoral. And the worst thing that our society is doing, and they should cease in doing it, is they start equating black folk to all these fabricated groups like minorities and poor folk and people of color and Asians and Hispanics coming into the country. These people coming to this country today get unearned benefits to enjoy the fruits of black folks' labor. Nobody shut them down.
Let me just pause it real quick. Let me pause it. This is why you're starting to see a lot of people trying to claim on to African American, because they understand that we're forcing everybody to pay attention to our heritage. So you'll have like a Juneteenth scholarship, okay, or a Dr. Martin Luther King scholarship or whatever the case may be. And then they'll say, oh, well, I'm African American. Technically, I'm an African American. So let me look at that Juneteenth scholarship. Let me look at that Dr. King scholarship. Okay. These unarmed benefits, because our sacrifice had to pave the road. And then what they do is they push us out the way under the guise of I'm an African American. All right. But let's let him. He was cooking. Let me finish. Let me let him finish.
Chinese started pouring into California after the Civil War to get benefits. And the Mexicans, there were no, in the Civil War, you had about 6,000 Hispanics in the United States. And now you got about almost 50-something million. They came in looking for benefits.
I heard Jesse.
All right. They came here looking for benefits. Now, I want to show you, and this isn't the other time, or the only time, I mean. Look at this. Dr. Claude Anderson even further goes to prove that we need to delineate, okay, and distinguish ourselves from other black people. Not even just my immigrants or whatever. He says we need to distinguish ourselves from the continent and other black people. Look.
The issue of race will ever be resolved in this country?
I think there's a very, very slight chance that it can be resolved, but it's going to be up to black folks to do it, though. See, because they're going to be pushed back from the dominant society, because they got a social construct that excludes black folk, and so so later on you can ask me about it. The key is going to be how black folk classify themselves. See, first of all, black folk got to classify themselves as native blacks, to make sure there's a distinct difference between a black coming from Africa and a black coming from the Caribbean. Native blacks. That means people that were born and raised in this country 400 or 500 years ago, that are peculiar to this.
Did you hear what he's saying? Native blacks. And that was really the origin, really, and then it evolved into things being a little bit more specific, and that's why we use the term FBA, because we don't want people to classify, be all like, oh, are you saying that native blacks, or you're a black Indian? Is that what you're saying, or whatever the case is? But what he was saying, the core of what he was saying is exactly correct. He even said from Africa and the Caribbean. He said we need to have our own terms that distinguish our difference from the African the Africa and Caribbean,
black folk
in the Caribbean.
And so later on you can ask me about it. The key is going to be how black folk classify themselves. See, first of all, black folk got to classify themselves as native blacks, to make sure there's a distinct difference between a black coming from Africa and a black coming from the Caribbean. Native.
See, a distinct difference between a black coming from Africa and a black coming from the Caribbean. All right. And he's been on this. All right. He's been on this.
Blacks.
Let him finish.
That means people that were born and raised in this country 400 or 500 years ago, that are peculiar to this. That's it. And if you focus on that, then say, now, what is special about those native blacks? Then you have to say they are exceptional people.
And what's special about them? They are exceptional people. Yep. They are exceptional people. We are. And that's the truth. We are. And this is why the whole we're immigrants and all of that stuff. This is why we're making progress, y'all. The second we started saying, you know what? Because the first thing he said is, if we're going to win, who we are and how we see ourselves, because what you say is going to determine how you see yourself. Okay, follow me. If you say and you speak on you and your people as immigrants, you're going to see yourself as being on a foreign land. So your fight is going to be different. Okay, the battles that you pick and choose, because you can't fight every battle. It's not smart to. Okay, no army, no soldier, no warrior is going to tell you fight every single battle you can. You can't, and you shouldn't. So the battles that we pick and choose to fight is going to be different now, because we're not thinking that we're on foreign land and we're peers with a bunch of immigrants. We're not thinking that we're just some lost immigrants from some displaced Africans. We're not thinking that. Now we're acknowledging, okay, well, this is our land now. So now the battles that we pick and choose to fight are going to be different. So now when ICE is coming and their ICE protest or whatever the case may be, and they're like, guys, they're coming for us. Ricky Smiley and all of them, they're coming for us. We're like, no, they're not. I'm not worried about that either. My lineage is here. Is rooted here, deeply rooted here. It's the thing that made this country. My lineage made this country. Our lineage made America. Didn't come to it, made it. It's a big difference. So now that we acknowledge that, and now we're starting to see ourselves in our place different. It's like a chess. It's like looking at chess. You play chess, people play chess, and people play checkers differently. But if you're playing chess the way you play checkers, you're going to lose. You can't move chess pieces like you can move checker pieces. Checker pieces and chess pieces are not the same. The rules are not the same. The pieces are not the same. The goal is not the same. So now we're looking at the chessboard as actual chess. We're not playing checkers with a chessboard. We're playing chess with the chessboard. So now we're moving the pawns and the knights and the brooks and the bishops and all of this, the queens and all of this stuff like an actual chessboard. And they want us to stop looking at the chessboard like a chessboard and start looking at it like it's checkers. And we're just not doing that. We know the game we're playing is not checkers. Okay, and this is why we haven't been winning, is because we playing really good checkers, but we're playing it on a chessboard. And now we're starting to see, okay, so if this was checkers, we would have been won, but it's not checkers, this is chess. So now we're starting to play chess, and you guys want us to start playing checkers. We're not doing that. And now we're starting to make progress. Now you're starting to see reparations conferences all over the country. Now you're starting to see the fact that our culture, our heritage is on front page news. Everybody is now trying to hide that they're an immigrant. Now everybody used to brag about it and shame us, but now everybody's hiding the fact that they're an immigrant now. All right. Now everybody's trying to tether on to us and try to co-opt, okay, and cosplay what we got going on, all right? Because we're playing chess now, all right? So, yeah, we're not going back. This is how we win. This is why we're making progress, all right? This is why when it comes to reparations, this is why they can't divert it and deflect from, well, hold on, we don't know who deserves reparations. Remember, that was one of the biggest things that they were saying. Oh, well, I mean, who would even get reparations, really? We wouldn't know who would get reparations. Oh, yeah, we do. We do. Yeah, we do. We're playing chess now, so we know who would get reparations. We know who would. We know who wouldn't. Oh, we don't know. Well, where would it come from? We know where it would come from. See, we're getting a lot of progress now because most of us are starting to recognize that this is a game of chess and not checkers. That's why. And the thing that we're doing is working. Okay? Even with the Essence Festival, that's us playing chess and not checkers. Because Essence, y'all, they were sponsored by, I think, Coca-Cola and Target and all of this stuff. They gonna realize ain't nobody showing up. You think Coca-Cola gonna sponsor Essence 2026? You think Target is gonna sponsor Essence 2026? You think they gonna keep doing this if people are making several videos saying that they ain't showing up no more? If people keep making videos saying that they're not going to Essence anymore, you think that these big billion-dollar companies gonna keep sponsoring Essence? No. This is chess. So now what we're gonna do, somebody, AT&T, all of these billion-dollar companies, they're not sitting up there gonna sponsor that. Ain't nobody gonna show up because we know that it belongs to us. So either y'all gonna give it back or nobody's gonna have it. That's chess. That's a chess move. We talk about chess move. That's a real chess move. Either you give it back or nobody has it. All right. Y'all can keep running it to the ground, wasting your time, wasting your energy, wasting your money. And eventually y'all going to have to admit that it's been destroyed, which it really already has been. Or y'all going to have to give it back. And then we going to go back to the way it was supposed to be. It's either that or nothing. It's either our way or the highway. Ain't nothing in between. Ain't no in between. Ain't no debate. Ain't no nothing. Ain't no nothing. It's our way or the highway. Y'all gonna give it up or it's gone. That's it. Those are your only options. And you better pick quick. Because if it's gone, we're just gonna take it back. So we taking it back regardless. It's just, are you going to be cooperative? Are we going to have to do this the easy way or the hard way? Is this going to be short and sweet, or is this going to be long and difficult? It depends. It depends on you, but we taking it back regardless. It's not yours to begin with. This isn't yours. That's why it's all messed up now. It's not yours to begin with. So we taking it back, regardless of if you like it. We're not asking for your permission. We're not going to apologize for it. We don't care about what you think. We don't care about how you feel about it. We're taking it back. Now, either you can let it go or we can snatch it. We can starve you out or you can give it willingly. But I promise you, by when it's all said and done, it's going to be in my hand. If there's one thing I can guarantee you, it's going to be in my hand when it's all said and done. Now, what you gonna do? And that's the energy we coming with. That's the energy we coming with, y'all. That's the energy we coming with, and we coming with that with everything. So yeah, we're on the right path. We're on the right path. We're doing the right thing. Okay. Now we understand the game. It took us a minute to get here. It did. It took us a long time to get here, but we get it now. We got it now. We understand. We do. We totally understand this now. So, hey, y'all can cooperate. Y'all can. But we, at the end of the day, we're going to win. And there's nothing y'all can do about it. Nothing. Ain't nothing y'all going to do about it. So you might as well just comply. You might as well just comply. Because in the words of Dr. Clyde Anderson, we are exceptional people. So we're going to win regardless. Family, I appreciate every single last one of y'all for being here with us this evening. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much. Let me get to the super chat. Easy says, keep preaching, brother. We honor and respect our ancestors by taking the right place. Yeah, saw that. Shout out to the Cash App. Shout out to Latribia. Appreciate you. Thank you so very much. Appreciate you. My exceptional. I'm gonna start saying that now. I'm gonna shout out to Dr. Anderson. I'm gonna start saying that. My exceptional brothers and sisters. Shout out to every single last one of you guys. Now, for whatever reason, if you guys didn't get the notifications, you guys can follow on social media. So that way I always make sure I put notifications up there for here. So if you guys didn't, you guys can go there and the link is in the description below. But what's very important is y'all hitting that like button. What's very important is y'all hitting that like button, We got over 1,000 people in here, over 1,300 people in here. We should have 1,000+ likes before we leave. We definitely should have. We still have that right now. We still have that live right now. We definitely should have over 1,000 likes before we leave. So everybody, come on. If y'all standing on lineage business, if y'all standing on the fact that we are exceptional people as foundational Black Americans, hit that like button and represent. Hit that like button and represent. Make sure you're subscribed as well too, and hit that notification bell. All right. Brothers and sisters, my exceptional brothers and sisters, I appreciate every single last one of you all. Be one to everybody. Appreciate y'all for watching, and y'all stay blessed, family.